Hello, and welcome back to Foos Entertainment. Well, it's that time of year again, so welcome to Horror Fest 2024. This is my favorite event of the year. I look forward to this every single year. So, something to drink with it, which is really, really nice. Maybe some of you out there I come across this. If you have not, I would recommend trying it. And that is Beetlejuice Fanta Haunted Apple. Got a couple cases of these, so this might actually be the main drink for Horrorfest 2024. Tastes like a spicy gothic apple cider. Is kind of wild, but let's see what it tastes like. Definitely ghoulish. All right. Well, as always, Horrorfest is a big event that lasts 2 months. This is usually me watching 1 to 2 films a night and getting in front of a camera and talking about each individual film. That's usually what applies. Well, I was going to start out on a kind of a comedy rant on the first 2 films. Now, I can tell you that all of the hate that these 2 films have, I want to pull this down just a little bit. I like showing off whatever watch I'm wearing on my wrist. You'll probably picked up on that from the last few reviews I've done. I wanted to rant on these films, and to a point, yes, I can rant. But once all the stuff we come to these horror films to see starts happening in the film, it takes a complete 360 direction, and it turns out to actually have some pretty cool, amazing things in them. Now, this is a horror film festival that I'm doing for 2 months. So, yes, there will be cussing, there will be foul language, there will be more adult themology in my reviews. It's usually are. I'm going to be keeping that to a minimum. I may not. So let's talk about the first one. We're at 3 minutes in, might as well. The first film I will be talking about is 2024, right? 2024's Abigail. Now I know. Wait, did you just say that this is not going to be a rant video? I did. Because you can pick on this movie all you want, but it can't be a complete rant. Because I don't hate everything about this movie. There's actually some things about the film I like. Visual effects are awesome in this movie. Visual effects are awesome in this movie. Once all of the crazy kills and horror stuff actually starts happening in the movie, it actually turns out to be pretty decent. And because of that, I can't completely hate the movie. Now, that said, I said it's going to be a rant / review. I think it's what I really should have said. Because I can tear this movie apart and, well, let's have some fun. Put a little comedy into it. First, I'll go ahead and get into the mood. All right. Why, oh why, would Universal Pictures go ahead and make a ridiculous movie like this? All right. What do you mean by ridiculous? Basically, let's read the plot synopsis, and I'll add in why it's ridiculous. All right. Plot synopsis. Radio Silence, the filmmakers behind the horror hits Ready or Not in Scream 2022, in Scream 6, bring a branch in bloodthirsty new vision of vampires with Abigail. A heist team is hired by a mysterious fixer to kidnap the daughter of a powerful underworld figure. They must guard the 12-year-old ballerina for one night to net a $50 million ransom. As the captors start to dwindle one by one, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to say that, they discover to their muffling terror that they're locked inside an isolated mansion with no ordinary little girl. So that actually tells you how ridiculous this is. You basically have a bunch of misfits, derelict, criminal, negligent, amateur idiots locked in a mansion with a 12-year-old little girl vampire. And the one-liners in this movie are just, they're awful. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you're thinking about what crappy one-liners would be said in this movie. All right, well, here's one for you. I like to play with my food. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So yes, I can pick on this movie forever. The acting on our 12-year-old, the acting is most of the time pretty terrible and horrifying. So yes, this movie is very horrifying, but it's very horrifying because it's so poorly crafted for most part in the film. Now, where the film gets even more wrong for me is you have Dan Stevens. Dan Stevens is a phenomenal British actor. He usually plays American characters. People know him as the live action version of the Beast in Disney's Beauty and the Beast, but he's done some very crazy horror films as well, in which he plays some pretty crazy individuals. Well, we see him play an ordinary douche of a character, and then we finally get what he's known for doing in horror films like this, which is act like a crazy lunatic. It takes all the way till the end of the film for that to happen. Which brings to why this film does get a little bit of redemption with me. Once it goes full vampire. Once it goes full vampire, which takes way too long. Matter of fact, arguably, I would say that this movie, as well as the next film I'm going to be reviewing tonight, their biggest flaw and why people hate them so much is because they're such a slow burn. That almost half, or just a little bit over half of the film, is a slow burn of exposition, of setting up the craziness you're going to go into, and then literally at about like the 1 hour or 51 to 48 minute marker of the movie is when it finally starts to kick into full gear. It becomes enjoyable, and that's why I can't completely rant on this movie. It's because once that happens, it becomes pretty fun. But there's still some pretty ridiculous things that go on. They're kind of goofy. And then the last part of the film actually surprised me, because the 12-year-old vampire kind of becomes like it was a villain, now is he the villain now, or is it Dan Stevens now that he's been turned into a vampire and he's wreaking havoc? It's just it does all these little twists and turns at the very end of the film, and that kind of adds a little bit of value to the film as well. But yeah, that's pretty much my views on Abigail. One thing I will say about the film, from my personal opinion, they should be ashamed of using the soundtrack to another great vampire movie. In fact, I'm going to bring that vampire movie out because I'm right next to it. They quite literally used the soundtrack to this movie. The original Dracula movie from Universal Studios from 1931. They used the soundtrack of that movie. Yeah, they used the soundtrack. Used that soundtrack from that great movie for this movie. Yeah, they did. So, in my opinion, you watch it like one time, you'll get a joy out of it. You watch it a second time, you're going to hate it. So, yeah, this is the type of movie I would say, if you're just bored and you want to watch a good, a fun, forget about reality movie, or you had a really bad day, just want to watch a silly, campy, crappy, not all that wonderfully well-made vampire movie, but one is fun, you can still get perks and kicks out of, then yeah, I would say check out Abigail. If you have no interest in doing that, then I would say, yeah, avoid this one. Don't pick it up. Put it in a rearview mirror, because a lot of what people are saying about this movie is very, very true. It's really not that good. I got joy out of it. Now, if I were to watch it again, would I get joy out of it? I don't know. That's not really likely. So let's talk about the quality of the film and the runtime. And this is another part where it gets like really wrong with me. Is the runtime. This movie is 1 hour and 50 minutes long. Why is it such a silly, a very silly, not so well crafted plot of a film take 1 hour and 50 minutes? You could have very easily did everything in this movie in 1 hour and 28 minutes. It should have been more like an 87-minute movie, not a 1 hour and 50-minute movie. I just don't get why they decided to do that. The picture quality is, and this is again something that Universal keeps doing, and still do. Eventually, we'll probably get a 4K of this. But as it stands right now, all we have is a regular Blu-ray. That's what we have, a regular Blu-ray. So yeah, 1080 by 60. All right, 1080 by 24 really is because it's a Blu-ray. So full HD, high definition. It is presented in 2.39.1 widescreen CinemaScope. And this we don't see often. We don't really see this often. A Dolby True HD 7.1 sound presentation. And we don't really see some 0.1 Dolby True HD sound presentations much. It's usually either Dolby Atmos or DTS-X. So that's interesting. Except for Disney. Disney don't give you a DTS HDMA sound presentation unless there's a 4K release of the film. That way you can rob you of more of your money. Make you buy that version of it. Alright, well, talk about the picture. The picture might as well be 4K because it actually looks very, very, very good. A very good use of colors. I think it's a very beautifully well looking movie. As for the audio is actually not bad. The audio is not bad at all. So there's lots of effects that fly around the room. Makes very good use of pretty much any sound system that has Dolby and DTS multi-channel sound capabilities. And it definitely does have a lot of bass going on in it too. So definitely, for quality wise, if you indeed want to pick the movie up, and like me, unless I'm in the mood for a very ridiculous movie, go ahead and just watch it one time and put it on in your you know, collection. And yeah, you're going to get a lot of good audio and a lot of good video out of the disc, because it's definitely there. Well, that's all I gotta say about 2024's Abigail. Like it or hate it, I finally reviewed it. It's kind of a review slash rant, and had fun with it. Hopefully you guys got some laughs out of me picking on this movie as well. And I will see you guys next time. I would say 2 stars out of 4. It's not completely terrible. Who says check it out if you want to.